What's up, everybody? It's a new day. I hope you've all forgiven me for selling my Supra. I had to do it. And sorry for the really short video on the Mustang last time. I was beat. It was a really long week. We're past it. We're gonna give you a nice video. Stay tuned for this, baby. Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Do it. As always, sponsored by Brian Tooley Racing. Now, to my understanding, we left with this crossover pipe last time that we built really quickly out of materials that we had laying around. What we have to do this time is we have to weld it up. So first things first, I'm actually gonna sharpen a bunch of tungstens. That way we have a bunch sharp and we don't have to keep going back to the thing every time we need to weld because it's gonna take a while. So yeah, we're gonna sharpen them on both ends so you can use both ends. And then we have like 6 left, so we should probably order some more. And I need some more mild rod. I'm way behind on things. Now, I encourage you, if you're watching this right now, just like, okay, finish my video a little bit, or at least the next 5 minutes, and then just get your ass out in the garage and do something. Like, you're not gonna make any progress if you're sitting here watching YouTubes. I don't even care if you watch anymore, just like leave and go work on something. That's what I really appreciate. And then film it and put it on YouTube so someone else can watch it. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? Now, the reasoning for sharpening so many tungstens, well, this isn't that many, there's only 4, and plus another one in here, is that we just don't want to get up and move over there all the time and then be back and forth welding and having back purging go through it and wasting argon and stuff like that. So get your tungsten sharp. Also had to replace the batteries in the helmet again. New helmet's on order from Amazon. Now, there's just a slight difference between my TIG welding abilities right here versus my MIG welding abilities right here. TIG, MIG. Actually, in fact, this one's TIG welded too, and this one's a lot better, so I must be getting better. Winning. So we're gonna see if we can back purge this now. We'll tape up this one. I have no idea if this is how you're supposed to do it. I'm just, because I have some gaps in here, I don't want to flow too much argon out through the gaps. So, seal it all off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take our hose that we have here, somewhere. Back purging bottle here, it's almost empty, but it is flowing. Tube goes into this side. It's going to come out. These are all taped up to seal them up, and we're going to poke a hole in this one right here, or a couple holes maybe. Just like. And I'll push the grow stuff out, and hopefully we can weld these. Hopefully. I haven't had much practice in back purging, so this is kind of new to me. We'll figure it out. Now obviously I need a bit of work with like my hand steadiness. It's hard to keep a steady hand when I'm using it all the time, but it's kind of where we're at with these ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the tape on this one, clean it off with some acetone, and then see if we can just keep moving down the pipe here. Now I don't want to bore you with too much welding stuff, but like as I progressed, I got a little bit better technique and the welds look a lot better. Remember we started down here and then we progressed to this one. Looks like it got a lot better here. The shiny table is really bad for showing welds, but then we went to here and then up to here. So like, the more I could keep a consistent angle on the pipe, so if I could just like walk around the pipe in a straight line and like use the same angle the whole way around, it seemed like it worked a lot better. And I'll remember that for the future, I guess. Back to the future. So I'm actually looking down inside of here and it looks as if our back purging worked. There's no like sugaring or anything. It looks good on the inside, almost better on the inside than it does on the outside. I wish I could show you, but I wouldn't be able to get the camera in here with it. But that's successful to me. Let's see if it bolts up after welding it. Look at my nose. We're getting under here again. Here we go. Bolted up to that side right there. Comes nicely down along the bottom here and then up to our pipe up there. And that's what the back of that manifold was for. So yeah, now we're joined up from one side to the other and we go into our turbo here. And oh yeah, I forgot we didn't weld up our exhaust yet, and then that comes out here. I took a minute to clean up the garage a little bit. You're welcome. It's still a little bit dirty, but whatever. And now we got this fancy extended turbo oil drain. I actually got it off Amazon, and surprisingly it's good quality. Like they machined it down so it's not just a hole in there, it's actually tapered, and it fits an O-ring. That's my favorite kind because I hate those little paper gaskets. So see if this fits on here. I need an extended one because if I put one on right here, the rubber hose would be like close to this T4 flange, but if I extend it down, then our rubber hose is actually going to hang down much lower, which is what we needed. Cool little O-ring, just fits in there-ish, kind of. Oh my god, the bolts even fit too? I've never been so proud of an Amazon product. As long as I don't snap this long thing off, I guess. Now the plan here is going to be to pull off our manifolds, surface them, put the gaskets in, get them bolted down solid. Then we'll be able to clock our turbo, fully mount our exhaust, start on the new exhaust, and start on the intercooler piping. I lose that bolt every time. Forgot, we still gotta weld this up again. And for anybody who didn't like my waste gauge placement, that's not a bad, like, it's still gonna flow through there. So this probably isn't the best way to surface your manifold, but it's all we got. We don't have like a sweet milling machine or anything like that. We're gonna go with 80. Keep walking it away. Now you can see here that like this one's a high point because this one's getting all grinded down. This one hasn't had anything around like the sealing surface yet. Neither is this one and neither is this one. So there is a bit of leveling to do here. We did warp it a little bit, so keep on filing. As weird as this might be, we're gonna run some chain through our manifold to make sure if there's any like little bits of burrs or anything stuck and not coming off. Hopefully the chain will knock it loose and we can clean up this manifold and not everything goes flying through our turbo. And now we can bolt it back on. I'll put up a new banner, AFR, they gave me one. Yeah. We will be using these multi-layer steel gaskets again. Hopefully that's okay. There we go, both manifolds back in. And before we put this pipe back on, we're gonna wrap this heat away from the trans. Check it out! We got a new welding mask. I ordered it on Amazon. Fake carbon fiber, obviously. It's solar powered, so that should help. And it's got a bigger lens in it than my other one. See how small this lens is right here? This big compared to this big. Bigger's always better. Don't let your girlfriend tell you otherwise. And now we're gonna hopefully reuse our wrap here. The main portion I want wrapped is this bottom piece that's like right underneath the torque converter, so I'll try and wrap that pretty heavy here. I should probably just wet this if I can find some water or something. Oh, it's dripping black on me. He's so drippy. Must have got some oil on this or something because it's just dripping black on the floor. Gross. Putting it outside now. Bad. Dry now. I'm not putting that on until it dries. So our next situation, we gotta fix our crack in this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, hopefully, and V out a whole bunch where the crack is, and then try and get some nice preheat on it. We'll use stainless filler this time and give this another shot, I guess. We get to use our new helmet too. Exciting. Watch it sucks. Watch it like blinds me still. Gross. As you can see, I grinded down the whole thing, like trying to look for cracks just underneath the surface of all the welds and stuff. And then well, this part I messed up because that's not actually where the weld was, but the rest I like grounded out a groove so we can try and re-weld in here. So next step is going to be preheat this thing a lot and see what happens. It's hot enough that it's starting to change colors. There might even be titanium in here.
You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
weld it up again. I'm actually heating it down with the torch now to see if I can get it to cool down slowly. I went over it twice, so I went this way up to here, and then went this way up to here, and then I went this way again, and then this way again. And then the second time I actually joined two filler rods together because I don't have them big enough. So yeah, if you can hear me over this torch, then that's what I did. I think we're getting a little bit better at this welding thing. So while we let our hot side cool down over there, it kind of making a little bit of cracking noise. I heated it down for like 10 minutes now so far. We're gonna put this on the bench and we're gonna see if we can get this welded up. This is our exhaust, so we have like 4 welds left to do here. Not back purging this pipe because it's post turbo and I don't really care. Before I go ahead and screw it up on this one, let's take time to appreciate how awesome that one is. This goal is gonna be fun to fill.
And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
Is one supposed to progress like this fast in one episode at welding? Watch this. Remember all those gaps that were in this one that I had to fill? Well, even those didn't even come out bad. Shit, son. And then this one up here, this one had some gaps in it too. But like this stuff right here. But now you gotta compare this stuff right here to this stuff right here, which was only like, I don't know, a month or two difference. Maybe? I don't remember. What? Progression. It's actually fun, and I realized that like the tighter your fit up, the easier it is to weld. I can weld like a little tiny bit of gap, but if you blow a hole in it, then it looks pretty dumb. So the tighter we can do on fabrication, the easier it is gonna be to weld. And I've been told that like fab work is like 80% prep time. So good job, Kyle. Short intermission to go buy bolts. Probably shouldn't buy bolts at Canadian Tire. Found that out the hard way today. It was like 14 bucks for all these bolts. Enough bolts to just like bolt the hot side on. Loser. Loser, Kyle. Loser. I'm gonna change my white shirt so I don't ruin it. Titties. Ooh, shiny new gasket. Also, if anybody's wondering what I'm using to time lapse, I'm just using my GoPro. My 7. White. 7 white. And then I just have this clamp that I clamp it on things. Nice. Lost the washer already. What in the heck? How are you gonna go ahead and give me 2 washers that are stuck together like this? That would involve me like, ooh, maybe. Nope, they won't come. That means they were like fucked up from the factory. I also bought metric bolts because the metrics are easier to calculate, like 17 millimeters and 10 millimeter bolt. It's so much easier than like fractions. And I couldn't find a 17 quickly, so I grabbed an 11/16. I was just a hypocrite, wasn't I? Now that I have like the manifold and the turbo all bolted up, like, this is solid. Solid, right?
Solid.
Like a hard wiener.
Yes.
Since our turbo's changed direction on us, we have to clock it again. But because it's just a bit of sealant on it and it's already hardened, we're gonna have to take it off, clean it off, mark where we need it, and then reseal it back up. and lose the first bolt on the floor. We're most definitely gonna have to put this in the hot side to get this to break loose. There we go. For how big of the frame the turbo is, this wheel is actually quite large. It's got a couple little chips in it from me running with no filter. Good job, Kyle. Oh well, it'll blow apart. Just gonna use some brake clean on this. And are you actually a car guy? If you don't buy brake clean, like buy the boxes? Probably not. You probably get someone else to do all your work. That's what I thought. Probably shouldn't be doing this on my bench though. On the floor it is! Now I have some silicone, but the end is always like solid because it's like hardened at the end. So what I do is I just poke a hole in the side of it and then I squeeze from the side. We just want like a little skim around the whole edge anyways. On like higher end turbos, there's usually like an O-ring on this. Like my Borg Warner had an O-ring here. That was not the mark I wanted. Right there. And for shits and giggles, let's throw this in here too. And it should fit. Sometimes I like to just take a minute and be like, I made all this. It's one thing just to buy a race car. It's another thing to start building stuff and see your hard work come together in something like this. I'm pretty proud of myself for this. I went from not knowing how to TIG weld at all to pretty much fabricating my whole turbo kit. Now we've run out of time, but as you can see, this episode has taken me the last couple of days to film and put together. And I put a bit of effort into it. So make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back again. Right now I'm currently waiting on stuff, that's why I can't really progress. I need some aluminum piping and some 2.5-inch stainless steel, and BTR is sending me out some AN fittings. So I'm waiting on all those things, and the combination of all those things put together should mean that we have a running car again. Yeah, so peace easy, get that V.